Hello, welcome to Leicester Fan TV. This is the Fox's Focus show. We'll be discussing all things Leicester. Don't forget to leave your comments. Me and Phil will read them off and discuss them. And don't forget to follow our socials down below. Hello, Phil. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's unusual for me to be here on a Thursday, but I'm looking forward to it, stepping in for Simon. So he's very busy in a way, yeah.
He's a last-minute work thing, so Phil's stepped in his place. Clipper says, evening, lads, good evening. So I think since there's no game on this weekend, I think we could basically discuss a bit more. I know we've talked about Swansea on the other shows, but talk a bit about Swansea and then think about how this, this is the second international break in the season so far. We could discuss how things are with the club and how things are going.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting start to the season, hasn't it? I think the Swansea game for me, Jono, the Swansea game, because we won it, we got 3 points. You look at it and we're third and you kind of go, oh, I think it's been a really solid, perhaps a good start, hasn't it? That's how we'd look at it. I think had we lost that game, we'd be about 10th or 12th. I think there's literally about 3 points between us and I think Bristol City or something. So it's amazing how the win makes the draws look okay. And you could then start going, we've not lost since, I think, August. So it was a big win on Saturday against Swansea and much needed, I think, for fans and for the players and for the whole team, because, Jono, I don't know about you, but it definitely is giving me, and I think a lot of fans, a much more optimistic look on what's going on.
I think as well, like just before that game, everything came out about, we've got a lot of reports about the points deduction, Susan Whelan leaving just afterwards. That was before the game even kicked off. So already there's a lot of negative talk about the club. And going into that game, we needed that result because it's been so doom and gloom, especially from behind the scenes of the club. I think that kind of settled the nerves a little bit, but that still doesn't take away from me how bad it is behind the scenes. But it just shows me as well how impressive a job Cifuentes has done, considering all the stuff they've had to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. Clibbo says here on YouTube, he says that draw loss against Swansea could have been a real kick in the gut heading into the break. It wasn't. It was a big positive. But like Jono's just said, I think somebody asked me what was my biggest positive so far in the season. And my answer is, Jono, at the moment, it is Marty Cifuentes, because I think he's had, on reflection, he's come into a club that's in a bit of a mess when he's come in the summer. Obviously, we've had the chaos of Cooper. We've had Ruud van hasn't got a clue. And we've had to get rid of a whole load of, we know all the ins and outs, had to get rid of so many high earners, spent zero in the summer, 0
2 million.
Well, 2 million was it? Well, Begovic.
Yeah.
No, where did we spend the 2 million? Remind me.
It was Begovic. It was 2-3 million for Begovic.
Do you know what? I think he was a free, Jono. I know we spent 2 million on Koulibaly in January. I thought Begovic was free, mate.
No, I thought it was 2-3 million.
Well, he's not had a lot, but
it was a free. Oh, it was a free. Fair enough.
It was a free. Do you know what? Somebody put us right. I think this since January we spent 2 million is where you're coming from, which was Koulibaly. Yeah. Obviously, he's gone.
Yeah, that's it.
I think John and Marty Cifuentes, when he came, I walked away from Wrexham last week from the ground thinking, oh, what is it with these players? I really don't take to some of them some of the time. And when I got in the car and he said it's arrogance, he literally, I was like, wow, that's exactly what I feel like, mate. So for me, Marty Cifuentes, I've said it all along, I like the cut of his jib, Jono.
I like him. And I like Anders' comments speak about the money. That's our next purchase. I think you said a positive for the season has been Marty, but another positive is Jordan James. He has been absolutely phenomenal. I think he's been the difference maker in the games that we've struggled. I think he's been the difference maker. Beginning of the season when we didn't have him, to now he's implementing in the team. He's been that gem. He reminds me of Dewsbury Hall. He's been absolutely brilliant.
He does. He's not playing for Wales tonight. He's on the subs bench, which is, Jono, that's pretty good news, isn't it? That he's not playing for Wales.
Yeah, yes, he's not playing.
I wanted to watch him, but
no injury, hopefully.
Yeah, I think no injury. I think most of us would take that, but I'm slightly surprised after his recent performances. But I thought he would start for Wales tonight, but I actually don't mind he's not. Yeah, Jordan James. I guess I like Dewsbury Hall, and certainly in that Championship season, he looked decent. He looked lost at Chelsea. I like what I've seen of Dewsbury Hall on Match of the Day at Everton. He seems to be enjoying his football and getting up and down the pitch again. So he clearly is a decent player, and he probably better than anybody we've got at the moment, Dewsbury Hall. But Jordan James, yeah, it's probably he does look like Dewsbury Hall. And again, like we say, we just want to see players. I mean, I said Jono to Reedy the other day, I think he's box to box player, certainly far more box to box player than Sumari, who used to wind me up and still does.
Well, when we reflect back on who did we draw against before Swansea? Was it West Brom? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he took off Jordan James, was it for Skip?
Yeah, strange one.
We looked completely flat. We lost that again, the box to box type of style of football. We play very passive, and we look so just to do anything. So that you could tell the difference when he's not in the squad immediately compared to when he's in the squad, and that's what we've missed all for not just this season, but for all of last season. Really, we lost that sort of that character in the midfield. I know we had I forgot everyone's bloody El Canoes. We had El Canoes, but I think Jordan James offers something different than El Canoes even did.
Yeah, Anne says here, surprise on the subs bench for Wales. Definitely need to sign Jordan James. We don't need to make those decisions till the end of the season, but
no.
The rumor is, I think it's fairly official now, is it's £5 million. As Andy says there, we need to spend that 5 million. We don't need to spend it now, and I don't even think we've got £5 million at the moment. But again, if we get promoted, if he has a great season and we get promoted, that's the easiest 5 million. Like when we signed Fatawa for 10 million, he had a good season in the Championship. It was an easy try before you buy, wasn't it, Jono?
I mean, he was one of the main reasons why I got promoted in the first place. And unfortunately, he was injured most of the Premier League season. I feel sorry for him because he deserved to play in the Premier League.
We'll never know, will we? We'll never know if him and Ricardo Pereira being a bit fitter would have helped whoever was in charge.
But him again. Now everyone's saying he's a one-trick pony with his cutting back on the left and trying to whip it into the top left corner. But I don't think he's a one-trick pony whatsoever. I think he's very good at pressing. He's very good at getting past the man, putting those sneaky little passes into the box. I think, and he's very good at tracking back. He's very good at tracking back and defending. So I think it's been brilliant as well. But I think there's one player which we can all agree has not had a good season, and that is Patson Daka, because he's been.
Listen, Jono, go on.
He can't hit a barn door.
Listen, I think you know, and I think everybody knows that I've said it for the last 2 years. I think Patson Daka's not up to standard. He's certainly not Premier League standard. We bought him to play top level Premier League and European football level, and God, he seems miles and miles off that. I don't think he's even a decent Championship player. But Jono, I am going to stick up for him a little bit in the fact that certainly the last 2 games, Swansea and also the last home game, the Coventry game, we don't give him many chances. It's not like he misses 5 or 6 in a game. He might get, I think at Swansea away, he kind of got that header off the crossbar as his one big chance, which was a really tricky one. It was high, loopy, got his head on it. I think I'll give him some credit. He does run around a bit, but that's about as far as I could go, Jono. He's not going to get us 10, 15, 20 goals. I can't see it.
Clippo says he did a good job pressing last week, but
we kind of have. We've ruined.
The thing is,
Jono, how many strikers have we ruined in the last 13 years? Because I could name you several who come in, like go back to Kramaric, go back Slimani. These aren't bad strikers, but we have seemed to. Chris Wood, we had Chris Wood.
We've had
loads.
As well.
People can name it. If you're watching this, name us some other strikers that we have sort of ruined.
Well, the reason why is because not because they're bad strikers, is because there's one player at the club who was always going to be number one pick. But now he's gone. This is Daka's chance to be that guy, isn't he? Really, there's no Cifuentes is trying to find that striker. I think Carranza's, needs bedding in more. I don't want to judge him too much because he's still bedding in. But Daka, I think, has just got no final touch. That I think we're lucky. We've got two good wingers. We've got one good. We've got players that can score. Because if we didn't have if the rest of our team was based on a striker, we'd be scoring no goals. They need to practice scoring, because if we keep trying to go down the wings and struggle down the wings, we'll get found out. We need more weight. We need more channels to find goals, and Daka needs to get better at shooting.
I'd rather just watch football, enjoy it, than get into all the stats too much, Jono. But I know that generally, if you're going to get promoted from the Championship, you need to be, if you want to get in the playoffs, you need to be hitting, I think it's 2 points per game. If you want to get automatic from there, it's 2.2. If you want to, high 1.8 will get you there. But the biggest thing I've took note of is the amount of goals that need to be scored, and goals will generally get you up. And they generally say that you need one striker who's going to get you 20, 25, a secondary striker who's going to get you 10 to 14 goals, and then your wingers, midfielders, there's going to be 5 or 6 of them going to get you 6 to 10 goals each between them. And we've definitely got that with the wingers. We've definitely got that with the midfield, I think, now. Like you're saying, Jordan James. I think Aaron Ramsey, when he comes back. I think we've got, Winks is going to get a few. Even like we saw on Saturday, Vesti is going to pop up with an occasional one at this level. But the massive gap, as you've just said, the massive, massive gap is, Ayu's not going to get you 20 goals.
No.
I can't. Patson Daka's not going to get you 20 goals. It's very early on Carranza. I'm not seeing it yet at all, but I don't think he's fit.
I don't think he's
or sharp.
No, he's not. His body isn't adapted to the English game yet. He needs a bit longer to get fitter, get back into, because even the Championship is still really fast paced and very physical. It's a very physical league. Not compared. I know it's different to the Premier League, but even the Championship is probably the highest level of football he's played in ever. It's way higher than the MLS. It's way higher than other leagues.
Carranza, that you think this is the highest level he's ever played?
One of them. It's played in the MLS. I rate Championship higher than the MLS. And he played in the in the Dutch league. Was it?
Yeah, he played only 3 or 4 games, hasn't he, in the Dutch league?
Yeah. So this is the highest level of football in terms of game turnouts. Is playing an average 1 to 2 games a week every week, and for 40 games, that's excluding cup games. You need to be really fit, and I don't think he's at that level of fitness yet.
Yeah, Gary says here, but how long are we going to give him? I think, Gary, you're talking about Carranza, because we've given Daka more than fair enough. And just to rub salt in your wounds, Jono, about Daka is he's going to go absolutely for no money at the end of the season, and probably going to pick up another okay contract somewhere. So sadly, Daka just hasn't made the mustard. I think Carranza, I think he looks like he could be a player. There was a couple of touches I've seen him do where you go, oh, this is the makings of a striker. He had that one massive chance against Swansea, didn't he? And you kind of think, had he got that, we'd have been here going, great. Not only are we third, we just beat Swansea 4-1 away, and Carranza's got his first one under his belt. Confidence, Jono.
That's the thing. I don't think it was his ability that let him down. It was his mentality. He panicked and he decided to go on his right, but that slowed everything down. Everyone caught up with him, and then it was stuck. He should have just shot. Even if he missed, that the shooting gives you that confidence.
Yeah, I agree. Andy says here, Daka has played under 4 managers and none of them get a tune out of him. And none of them, Jono, particularly want to pick Daka, do they? Marty's probably given him the fairest crack of the whip, you'd argue, by giving him 2 games on the trot. But I don't think at this stage, Jono, of the season, it's doom and gloom because of Daka or Carranza. But I think what we're just saying here tonight is that potentially this could be the hole that does us. But we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully, Carranza's going to step up.
But what did impress me is when we played against West Brom, everyone's moaning, we're not taking enough shots, we're not scoring, we're not converting enough chances. And what did Cifuentes do? He went back to the training pitch and he went, right, let's focus on goal scoring. We've proven we can defend. We stopped Coventry from scoring. Let's now focus on actually scoring goals. The game after we scored 3 goals. So we are improving. If he keeps doing that, who knows? We could even get a tune out of Daka and make him score goals, feed him more chances.
Yeah, I think, like I say, I definitely am feeling positive about this season, Jono. But I'm also, I like to be realistic about these things in the fact that I think against Swansea we did win 3-1 and we could have won 4-1. So therefore, you go, well, it was comfortable. I think for 77 minutes, at least, it was definitely could have been another draw, and they could have gone on to pinch it. We could have lost against Swansea, and I don't think it was as convincing really as the 3-1 personally. Do you? Or do you feel that was fair? Do you think 3-1 was like, yeah, that was a 3-1? I didn't feel like it was a 3-1 game.
I thought it was fair from the response that we gave after we drew, because I feel, was it a penalty? It was very 50-50, but if you go in like that, you give the referee a chance to give you a penalty.
Yes.
But the response that we gave after that, we annihilated Swansea. Ever since that ball went in that net, we were all over Swansea the rest of the game.
Yeah, and which was good to see. Good to see us come back.
So that means, for me, in my eyes, we deserve to win. The Swansea matches the rest of the game, yes, they did, but we outclassed them where it mattered. So therefore, I think we deserve the win. I won't say it was comfortable, but we deserve to win 3-1.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And that's why we're third in the table. I think I don't know about you, John, I'm getting an impression that this season is going to be a tight one. I think there's going to be maybe, I know it's very early and there's 9 games in, but I don't think Coventry will be the runaway leaguers. I don't think it, but it could happen. I'm not seeing anybody particularly looking like they are that runaway team. I don't think it's us either, by the way. I don't think anyone's going to be.
I think there's going to be points in the season where people have a really good run of form and a bad run of form. And I think Coventry are on the high at the moment. But as we all know, when we were in the Championship last time, we're flying. We're like 14 points clear and only winning the league by 1 point.
Yeah.
So it can all instantly turn and go against you. So it's a very long season, but I want it to be close. It's interesting.
Jono, you're going to tell me next you want the playoffs?
Fine. If I had the opportunity, I wish we will absolutely fly ahead and everyone else can scrap it out for second place. But it's not going to be that. So bring on the competition.
Yeah. Do you know what? Being honest, Jono, I'd quite happily have a playoff final as long as we win it. But
I'd go to Wembley.
Trying to remember the last playoff final, which was obviously, I don't know, late 90s. I can't remember the exact year. I'm going to say, was it 96? Was it the Crystal Palace one? You Google it. I think it was. I was at all the playoff finals, and I think it was Crystal Palace 1996. Steve Claridge shims it in the last minute. That's what I think. But listen, the days you lose a playoff final are the worst days of your life, and the ones when you win it are the best. Winning the playoff finals was probably better.
2-1.
2-1. There you go. Stevie Claridge shims it in. But so I would gladly take that, a playoff final win. But I think, just as somebody's just put in here, George has just said this, the league is poor. I wouldn't quite go and say it's poor. I think it's very close. But George says here, it's the points deduction that will screw us. I think, Jono, the points deduction will take us from maybe high up in the playoffs or automatics down to we still stay in the playoffs. But it will depend when and how much we get.
I think when it will happen is really crucial. If it happened now, the look of the table will be near the bottom.
Yeah, it'd be scary.
So mentally, it'll put a lot of pressure on us, and then that could spiral our season. If it happened towards the mid to late season,
which is when the rumor is, Jono. The rumor is it's going to be January, February.
So if we are in amongst the top 6, we might come out the not top 6, but at least we're still in the race. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if it is going to happen, make it happen further on in the season, not the beginning, because it'll mentality. Seeing us near the bottom is not good.
No, which is what, like you say, what you don't want is to have, like when Forest had their points deduction from the Premier League a couple of seasons ago, they had it so late on, it left them so nervous, didn't it, about when it was. You almost think if they're going to give a points deduction, it needs to be before what you class as the final run in the last 10 or 15 games. Else it feels beyond unfair, doesn't it, to not make a decision. They've got the information. So I believe the hearing is starting over the next couple of weeks.
It might have started now. We didn't know. No one knows the exact date, but the
No.
report was between last week and next weekend. So hopefully, do you want it to happen soon? Get out of the way and then build it back up again, or do you want it when
I think after Christmas would be perfect, because hopefully we're right up near the top in the mix. And then, like you say, if you take 9 points off and it drops you just below the playoffs or something, and you think, well, a couple of wins and we're straight back in it. But
definitely.
I agree. If you took it off us now, you'd suddenly go, wow, 9 points, if that's what it is. Take us right down, wouldn't it?
It would. Well, speaking about the points deduction, the last part of the show, we've talked about how we thought the season's gone so far. Now, before the game kicked off, we had big news that we're going to get a points deduction, and Susan Whelan stepped down as CEO of the club. Now, everyone has their opinions on whether it was her fault, if it's Rudkin's fault, if it's both of them, with the way the club's been ran. And Top has stepped in as temporary CEO. But what I found really surprising is how many former players have stepped forward and put posts on social media saying how much they really admired her for what she did for the club and how she looked after them. Now, do you think, in your opinion, Phil, that is saying the players are saying to the public that Susan Whelan is not in the wrong for how the club is in their position now?
Maybe it is, or maybe it's just the players got on really well with somebody they've worked. Jono, you've worked with people, I've worked with people, and there's people you've worked with. I've worked with people. Sometimes you think, oh, like, I've worked with this person for years, whatever. We got on some of the time, we didn't get on some of the time. They were good at their job, they were not good at their job, but they've moved on. So I'm going to send them something saying, oh, good luck in whatever you do next. Wish you well. So I think be careful too much what you read into it. I think people on social media love to speculate, Jono. I don't read too much into it. Do you?
I do and I don't, because like it's I don't see other players from other clubs putting up posts about their former. I can't see any other clubs. I don't know who's the director of football or CEO of any other club, but I've not seen any posts from players having that big of an outpour after someone leaving. Have you? I've
not noticed it, but then I'm not on. Unlike Reedy, I don't follow Nottingham Forest social media all the time.
Oh, so. Yeah, Reedy is in their back pocket, isn't he? But
he'll be watching this. He'll be going, I'm not a Forest.
Yes.
Listen, Jono, I've said this slightly before, and I'll get lots of hate and comments, and you can put it in the comments now. I don't mind. It doesn't matter how long you watch Leicester for. It doesn't matter if you go to watch them week in, week out, or like you, Jono, you live up north, so you get to whatever games you can, but you watch as much as you can on telly. It doesn't matter if you live in Spain, like Jamie, who runs the Fox's Arms. I have watched Leicester City a long time, and the last 13 years have been flipping amazing. Yes, the last couple have not been good at all, but I've seen over my literally 49 years of watching Leicester, I've seen we are a yo-yo club. We have been. But for 13 years, Susan Whelan, Top, Vichai and his family, and John Rudkin have given me as a fan the best memories in my life. So I've been one of these where I don't think John Rudkin in particular has been marvellous at signing players by a long way. He's got a lot wrong, but he's also got quite a lot right, if you want to say it. We have signed Maddison, Maguire, Merez, VAR. I could go on and on with these Drinkwater. These players are legends. He signed Wes Morgan. He picked up Mark Albrighton for 0. So I have to take that and go, there's been some bad recently. There's been some really bad. But there's also been some brilliant. And the same goes for, in my book, Susan Whelan. She's ran the club through the best period of Leicester City. And I know in my life, I'll never see that 10 years again.
No.
And if you offer me that 10 years again and say, by the way, at the end of that 10 years, you're going to have 2 or 3 stinky years, you're going to yo-yo again. Yes, please.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
People say to me, like, oh, it must be really bad being a Leicester City fan. And I said, at the moment, it is. But I said, I'd rather be a Leicester City fan than a Bournemouth fan or a Fulham fan, where you just sit mid-table of the Premier League week in, week out, and you don't win anything. But
yes,
I'm 30 this weekend, and I've seen Leicester City win the Premier League. We've won the FA Cup. We've been to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We've won the
Community Shield. Yeah,
We've been to
2 championships.
We've been to the end of the Europa League. We've been to the end of the Conference League, and I'm only 30.
Yes,
but there are fans.
You lucky sod.
Yes,
you lucky boy. Because I had to. If you're 30, I'm 54. I've had to do 24 more years of yo-yo. You've had the same 10, 11 years of great that I've had.
So, do I think the club should be run better? Yes. Maybe I think there needs to be a lot of change. I think the ownership of the club needs to take accountability for how they've ran the club. And I think this points deduction is actually good for the club to make them think, hang on, you can't do what you want anymore. This is the result of your bad neglect for the club. But do I love Leicester City any less? No. Do I despise the club? No. Do I still want to watch every week? Yes. That's the end of the story.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jono. And listen, I think there's so many teams out there who, when they pull up their stats, I think Crystal Palace, they obviously won the FA Cup and then are playing Europe. I think I looked at their stats when it came up on screen, and they've won almost nothing in 100 years. The
FA Cup was the Community Shield was the first trophy. They've had people born and die who have been lifelong supporters who have not seen them win anything. Yeah, exactly. Not even a championship.
And I get it. Forest fans still live off like winning European Cups in the late 70s and league titles. Derby fans won the Premier League in the early 70s. We've had it much, much more recently. All of us watching this probably can remember those great times. I don't want to rest on my laurels. I thought, to be fair, when we'd won that, we'd done Europe. The big things were missing out on Champions League those 2 seasons when we were 4th all season and finished 5th. That really cost us. And to be fair, again, I'm not making excuses for Rudkin and Whelan, but to be fair, they were the honesty, I think, Jono, is they were trying to build a squad, an expensive squad that was geared up to be top 6, top 8,
but did it really badly.
And they got it wrong. They got it wrong. But some of these FFP rules and all that and fair play, it's not built to help clubs like Leicester. Look at Newcastle; they're really struggling. They've got bazillions of money. They've got the richest owners in the world, and they're limited by things. Everton got a points deduction. Forest have got a points deduction. We know other teams have. It's not built. It's the big boys club, and they didn't like Leicester doing it. And we've had a go, and it's all gone a bit sour at the end. But offer it me again, Jono, I'll take it.
Yeah, if you said in 3 years you win the Premier League, in the next 10 years, in the second year in the Premier League, the third year you win the FA Cup, but the next 7 years you win the Championship, would you take it? Absolutely. To win another Premier League.
These memories. Listen, Knockout missing the penalty and Troy Deeney. It's a memory. You take that with you, but that was a bad. You've got to have the sour to have the sweet. You've got to have the bad bits to make the good bits feel even better. Well, we lost to Blackburn.
It was all positive because
we lost to Blackburn in the playoff final, and we lost to Swindon in the playoff final. But when you beat Derby County in the playoff final, boy, does it feel good. So, and that's what. But don't be a Leicester fan if you're not prepared for the ups and the downs, because
it's both.
It's both. And people would say, "Oh, go and support Man City or whatever," because they've had loads of downs over the last 40 years. they've only had it up since 2000 and about 10, 11. Many of their fans my age will remember League One, playoff finals, etc. Gillingham. They'll, they brought their success to a level, but they're not now having that as great success last season and this year. So don't be a Leicester fan, but know it's going to be some bad times. There's going to be some good times. Let's hope we're back on the way up.
Yes, as a Leicester fan, it's not boring. It's either have really good or really bad. But when the really good comes again, it's really good.
It's rarely boring, Jono.
No, it's never boring. If you want to support a boring club, support a mid-table Premier League club. If you want to be entertained, whether that's for bad or for good, be a Leicester fan.
When we got, listen, I remember about 2004, 5, 6, 7. Those years, we had about 5 years like middle lower of the Championship, and it was just like, oh my god, just at some point would just get us relegated because we need a reboot here, And in the end, when we got relegated, it was kind of like a relief because you're kind of like, right, we've got to sweep out.
That's the exact same. I said to my wife last season in January, and I said, I want to be relegated. She went, what? And I said, I want to be relegated because I said the only way we're going to improve as a club is if we get rid of all the deadwood who are sucking the wages out of the club, and once they're gone, we can rebuild. And it's going to take us I don't think we'll get promoted this year. It'll take us a good 2-3 years to rebuild our team, and I think we will and then we'll go for the promotion push.
Yeah. George says here, well, you're way too young for this, Jono, but we lost 4-3 against Swindon. This was playoff final, and he says here, was
Swindon a big team back then because they're not now.
Well, no, this is the thing, Jono. What goes around, Swindon beat us. They had Glenn Hoddle playing for them that day, if you remember him, one of the best midfielders there ever was. Anyway, he says, was in my coach and Swindon mocking us, and look what they've won. Exactly. Some of these games are just these memories like you've got of Riyad Mahrez, of Danny Drinkwater, of The Greatest Escape. Dorco says, I remember being the East Stand, Leicester 0, Villa 0, worst game since the Big Bang. If you have the bad days like we had last season, it'll make this year when we get promoted feel even better in a way.
If we get promoted this year, honestly, I'll don't know what I'll do. I'll do the next stream. I'll do the next stream to win topless. If we get promoted this season, the next thing we do after that will be I'll go topless because it will not happen.
Oh God, Jono. What a thought that is. Somebody's put, by the way, Jono in here. Jane Pinsent says, happy birthday, Jono, for the weekend. Is that your birthday?
I literally said it 5 minutes ago. I said I'm 30 this weekend, and I've seen us win this.
Yeah, you did. Happy birthday, Jono. Well done, Jane, for picking up on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Going out for birthday meal.
You're going out for birthday meal? Oh, well, you live up near Newcastle, don't you?
I do. I am. Well, I'm in Newcastle, yes.
You're not out on the Toon?
No, it's when you're
more civilized now. Yeah, I know.
No
you've
time.
got your little one.
No time. So yeah, this is a nice meal out. But yeah, it's been nice to know football because I won't be checking my phone every 5 minutes going, what's the score?
A weekend off. A weekend off for
weekend
us all.
off. Yes. But I think that's the end of the show. But hopefully next week we'll have more to talk about when we have our next game. Who was our next game? It's against Portsmouth at home. Portsmouth at home.
Yeah, the Milan Mandaric derby, because obviously he sadly passed away. So Milan Mandaric, big Leicester chairman, obviously did loads for Portsmouth as well. I hope the club are going to do a little something for that. I've got no idea if they are, but hopefully they'll mark that with a bit of respect.
Hopefully there'll be a minute's applause during the game or something for him. But it's a week away. But what do you think your score will be against Portsmouth? After the weekend we get against Swansea, I think we'll win. I'll go 3-0. I'm going to go for a clean sheet.
I'm with you. I fancy. I'd like to. I know the Birmingham was a decent home game, decent, I would say, without being blistering. It'd be nice to see us come back and have a game where you went, wow, we've just beat somebody 3 or 4-0 at home, and
we dominated the whole game, not 20 minutes. Yeah,
that's what I'd like to see. I think the King Power needs to see it as well. I know the Birmingham game was all right, but I think a big statement win at the King Power on a Saturday night, that'd be nice.
And Scott's comment, meal out with the Mackhams, I'd rather eat poo than go out for a meal with a Mackham. I'm turning Geordie, Phil. I'm scared. I'm scared my daughter's going to become a Geordie. She's going to come back with a Geordie accent and want to support the Toon Army. I'm scared.
I know you've already got a Leicester stuff. You need to keep that cultivation going.
If she comes back with Newcastle, we'll be like, nope, you're grounded.
Too right.
Well, cheers, Phil. Thank you, everyone, for commenting. Do you have a show? We'll do the famous aftermath show with Sunday. When's Jamie back
Yeah.
for that?
I'm not sure. Is the bar still going? He's still been super busy. So I think Reedy is still doing the aftermath show for the short term. It's 9:30 on Sunday, and then you've got my amazing Monday night show every Monday at 7:30, the Fan Zone show.
So don't stay tuned for Sunday and Monday for those shows, and then I'll be back with Simon next Thursday for the Fox's Focus show before the Portsmouth game. So thank you so much for leaving the comments. Don't forget to follow us on all our socials down below, and we shall see you all on Sunday.